This is Backstory, the podcast powered by the newsroom of The Ithaca Voice. I'm Megan Zerez. It's Tuesday, June 23rd. Today's is going to be a shorter episode. First, we're going to go over what's at stake in today's primary elections, and then we'll cover some of the other news we've been following. But that's after a quick break. Stay with us.
Backstory is supported by Cayuga Health and Arnott Health, members of Centralis Health, connecting our community with accessible, compassionate care that's built around you. From same-day appointments to long-term wellness support, Centralis Health helps you stay healthy and informed. Learn more at centralishealth.org.
You're listening to Backstory. I'm Megan Zerez. Today is Election Day in the statewide primary races. For most voters, Democrats or Republicans, at least in this county, there will be only one competitive race on the ballot, though it will depend on what party you vote with. Most Democrats in Tompkins County will get one choice: who gets their party's nomination for state controller. The controller audits governmental organizations for waste, fraud, and abuse. They're also in charge of the New York State Pension Fund, which was worth almost $300 billion as of this March. And just to give you an idea, that's larger even than the state's annual budget for this year. So it's a pretty big chunk of money. The incumbent Democrat Thomas DiNapoli has held that job of controller for 19 years, virtually no challengers during that time. City and State New York has described him as an, quote, under-the-radar establishment Dem. There's also two newcomers, and that's kind of a first, both of whom are trying to court progressive voters. First, Raj Goyal. He's a lawyer and former tech CEO. He previously served in the Kansas state legislature, that's where he's from, before he moved to New York City. Drew Warshaw is an exec at an affordable housing nonprofit. He's also served as the chief of staff at the Port Authority. Now, both Goyal and Warshaw want to divest that $300 billion pension fund from investments in Israeli bonds, fossil fuel companies, and the defense tech company Palantir. But those two progressives, they've struggled to define themselves. And notably, major progressive political groups like the Working Families Party and the Democratic Socialists, they've declined to wade in with an endorsement. So whoever wins that primary will go up against Republican Joseph Hernandez. In the town of Ulysses, that's the one exception where Democrats will have two choices on their ballot. The second choice is town councilperson, and that's only for a partial term. Both candidates in that race, Keith Hannon and Richard Goldman, have experience in local government. Goldman has previously been on the Ulysses Town Council, and he works as a financial advisor. Hannon has served on the Trumansburg Village Board. He works at Cornell, and his family runs the coffee shed. Finally, Republicans countywide will select their party's challenger for New York's 19th congressional district. That seat is currently held by Democrat Josh Riley, who narrowly defeated Republican Mark Molinaro last year. This time around in the Republican primary, it's between New York State Senator Peter Oberacker and political newcomer Alexander Portelli. Oberacker is a businessman in the meat industry. His family owns a sausage company in Schneebus, and he represents a very large, sprawling rural district in the state Senate currently. Now, in the state Senate, he's had strong support from the New York State Republican Party. In his congressional campaign, he was endorsed by Donald Trump in February. Portelli is a real estate investor and timber farm owner. He's called for an end to all foreign aid, and he wants to repeal income tax for people earning under $1 million. So far, it seems like Oberacker is favored to win. And again, whoever wins that primary race will go up against Josh Riley. There are no Democratic challengers to Riley. Polls are open until 9 p.m. today, and we'll be updating our results page as soon as the returns start rolling in. You can find that, of course, at ithacavoice.org. In other news, 20-year-old Damian Stewart was indicted in the fatal stabbing of 19-year-old Breanne Keene late last month. He was charged with second-degree murder and first-degree manslaughter. Stewart is being held in the Tompkins County Jail, and he's awaiting trial. If convicted, he could face 25 years in prison to life. Keene, if she hadn't died, was set to graduate from Lehman Alternative Community School today. And workers at the Tompkins County Public Library ratified a new union contract earlier this month. It's the first time since December 2024 that all workers there have been under an up-to-date collective bargaining agreement. There's been a lot that's happened in the interim, including a major leadership transition. You can read about that by searching Tompkins County Public Library at ithacavoice.org. The Ithaca City Court will hear the eviction cases for over 24 former Asteri residents on Thursday. The Asteri Ithaca building has been beleaguered with issues since it opened 2 years ago. In addition to normal affordable housing, the 181-unit building was also meant to provide housing to people transitioning out of homelessness. It was shut down in March by the city of Ithaca after inspectors deemed it too dangerous for human habitation. It's since been reopened, but its residents have largely opted to move. And finally, Ithaca celebrated Juneteenth this weekend with performances and events throughout town. Juneteenth celebrates the day in 1865 when enslaved people in Texas, some of the last people to find out, learned that they had been freed. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the 3-day weekend. You've been listening to Backstory, the podcast powered by the newsroom of the Ithaca Voice. Our managing editor is Jimmy Jordan. Ron Van Ormer is our executive director. Our photographer is Casey Martin. Our reporters are Fernando Figueroa, Haley Potter, and me, Megan Zerez. And one last announcement, if you prefer to listen to podcasts on YouTube, you can now find Backstory there too. We've just relaunched our YouTube account, so we'd appreciate if there's anyone who likes to listen on YouTube to rate the show and subscribe there so we can reach more people. You can find it at youtube.com/@The Ithaca Voice. That's it for this week. We'll see you around out there.